What's going on, everybody? It's Totally here again with another 2024 NFL mock draft video. Last one I did, I think I did 2 rounds there. I might do 2 rounds again. I don't know about trades or anything yet. Maybe I'll do some, I'm not sure. We'll kind of just see what happens if there's any trades that I think should be made at certain points in the draft. So, um, yeah, we're just going to get right started into it. Probably do 2 rounds, maybe three if we can get through it quick. I know I say that every time and we never get through it quick, but we're gonna try anyways. So, all right, Chicago Bears. We know they have the number one overall pick. Um, I'm kind of thinking maybe we trade out of this spot. Maybe they stick with Justin Fields. In my last 2 mocks, I think I took Caleb Williams number one for the Bears, so we're gonna switch it up this time because the Bears just came out with a nice little hype video with Justin Fields on it. So I don't know if that's saying anything, but maybe they're sticking with their man. Could be the case. But so I'm gonna have the Bears trade out, and obviously Caleb Williams is pretty much the bona fide number one quarterback in this draft, and then there's the argument between Drake May and Jaden Daniels for two. Being the Patriots. So I think like the Bears might still want to get on that Marvin Harrison Jr. vibe. So maybe they'd be willing to trade with like the Patriots or something to get to three in front of the Cardinals so that the Cardinals don't take Marvin Harrison Jr. It's a possibility. Or they just gather a load more picks and move down somewhere else. But in this mock, I am going to have the Patriots, I think, move up for this pick to ensure they get the best quarterback in the draft. If you ask me right now, as it sits, the Patriots are the most quarterback needy team, in my opinion. I mean, like the Falcons, you can make do with like Desmond Ritter. The Raiders, Aiden O'Connell showed that he can be serviceable, right? I mean, the Patriots, it is just not like Mac Jones. Their offense is so stagnant. They have no wide receivers, which would be nice for them to pick one up. Maybe we get one in the second or third round for them. But yeah, they need a quarterback so bad because what they have with Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones just isn't gonna be it. So we're gonna obviously swap the third for the one. Let's see. So we still need about 800 points of draft capital to move up. So let's add the second rounder there. Then we need about 240. So maybe it takes their first three picks, or maybe, I don't know. Or what am I? Yeah. Maybe they get we can't really get anything in return. Along with the one. I really wanted to keep that second pick, but unless we trade here, maybe we don't do that because then they'll have no picks in this draft. Maybe we'll go with their first rounder next year, and then because it's a move up for a quarterback, maybe we give them our third rounder, and obviously, the values of the picks is going to be more so that the Bears getting, but this is a move up for a quarterback, which typically takes more draft capital to do. So Bears are gonna get their next year's first rounder and then this year's third to move up 2 spots. So this year they're just gonna miss their third. They're still gonna have their second, their fourth, their fifth, yada yada. Hopefully, second we can get Caleb Williams, who is gonna be the selection here. Hopefully we can get him a weapon there in that wide receiver room. So number one overall, we're going Caleb Williams to the Patriots in this one. I always do these on the fly, by the way. I have no plan going into it, so you got to bear with me a little bit as I think about what I feel like doing. Number two, Washington Commanders are up, and me personally, Jaden Daniels is my number two quarterback in this draft. I still like Drake May. I don't think he's going to be bad by any means. I just kind of like what I saw more so last year out of Jaden Daniels. And granted, Drake May had a bad offense. He had some key players leave, new offensive coordinator, so it was an adjustment. He didn't play the best football. And so, just based upon that, if we're going to put these two neck and neck and try to decide between the two, what have you done for me lately is normally what people ask for in this league. And Jaden Daniels balled out last year, won the Heisman, 40 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions at a 72% completion rate for 3,800 yards, compared to Drake May's 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a 63% completion rate. We're going to go Jaden Daniels, number 2, to the Washington Commanders there. All right, number 3, it's going to be the Bears now, and we already kind of talked about what we were going to do. We wanted to just move down a couple spots because we know quarterbacks are most likely going 1 and 2 to get Marvin Harrison Jr. to pair up with DJ Moore and give Justin Fields no more excuses, because maybe they could add a running back somewhere because, Herbert is okay. But other than that, Cole Kmet, great tight end. You got DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr. now. Your offense should be pumping, right? So now we've got the Cardinals up at pick 4. And now, since Marvin Harrison Jr. is gone, I could see them wanting to trade out of this 4th pick, possibly move down. But who would be willing to come up for Drake May? Let's see. Maybe the Falcons. I could see the Raiders making a jump. Maybe the Vikings, Broncos even. You know what? Let's see what we can do with the Broncos, because I haven't had them move up. Or they need a quarterback, obviously, if they're letting Russell Wilson go. You can't roll Jarrett Stidham out there, right? He can't be your starter. So maybe we take the Denver Broncos and move up. So from pick 12 to 4, 1,200 points there. So we need to make up 600 points. Maybe we go next year's 2nd. So they still retain their 1st round pick. And then maybe we go one of these 5th. Or maybe we go I don't know. I mean, obviously I could throw the 3rd in there, but I don't want to deplete their whole draft. We might have to do it, though. Sorry, Broncos. You kind of need to fork out some picks if you're going to make this move. So we got 30 extra points. Maybe we slide in. We just give the Cardinals 5th back to the Broncos in exchange there. That's pretty even. And we're going to accept that. So Broncos move up to 4. And they're going to snag Drake May as their future franchise quarterback. All right, Chargers up at pick 5. They're going to stick and pick because everybody's been saying it, and I happen to agree that with the new addition of Jim Harbaugh there as the head coach, we know he's a run-heavy scheme. We know he likes throwing to the tight end, just like his brother. They could take a wide receiver weapon. It wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, but they still do have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I don't know if either of those guys is going to be gone, like maybe Mike Williams is gone, but, maybe you can find some, because this draft is very wide receiver talent heavy, so maybe you can find one in the 2nd or something. I just think you, like, Brock Bowers, he's going to be a huge weapon for Herbert, and it fits the Jim Harbaugh scheme. So it just kind of makes sense to me. The only other place I might go would be like offensive tackle to fill that right tackle position, but we're gonna stick with Brock Bowers here at pick 5. Now you not got the Giants up at 6, and they haven't had an elite wide receiver there for a long time. Kind of seems to be the move. You could do that. You could take one of these tackles and move Evan Neal into guard or trade him because he hasn't really panned out at right tackle. and solidify that line. But you have no weapon. I mean, if you can get an elite wide receiver like Malik Neighbors, I don't think you pass on that at all. And maybe you can find a tackle later on in the draft, or maybe something in free agency. I'm not sure, but you got to get some playmakers for Daniel Jones if that's going to be your quarterback. He needs some playmakers. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson is all right, but they just drafted Jalen Hyatt, which we didn't really get to see much of him. He's kind of just a deep threat guy. You need that bona fide number one. So we're going to take Neighbors there at 6. Now we got the Titans up at 7, and I could get crazy here and go Rome Odunze. I've been taking a tackle for them every single draft, and just the way that things have fell at this point, I can't see passing up on like Joe Alt or Olu Fashanu here. Maybe, like I said, maybe we can get wide receiver a little later in the second round or something. The value of like one of these, you're getting to choose your top tackle. Right now, we've had 2 wide receivers come off, so you're getting quote unquote the third best versus getting the best tackle in the draft. So we're still going to stick with that. It's going to be Joe Alt there for the Titans. Falcons are up at 8. I could see them also going Rome Odunze. I could see them going to Dallas Turner. I know a lot of people are mocking him there. If the neck checks out for Laiatu Latu, the medicals, maybe they take Latu there at 8, because technically he was the best pass rusher in the class, most productive. I'm not really seeing anywhere else I'd want to go here at this spot. This pick is way too early for my taste for going for one of these quarterbacks that's left, which would be Penix, Bo Nix, or McCarthy. Just a little too rich for me. So I'm going to I'm going to go. I'd really like to get him an edge rusher, but at this point, Drake London is their only wide receiver on the roster. And I know that they don't throw the ball, but maybe with Arthur Smith now gone, maybe they will throw the ball. You got Kyle Pitts, maybe he can, now with a different head coach, maybe he steps it up and we can see what Kyle Pitts actually should be in this league. With London and Odunze on the other side, let's go with it. So we got Rome Odunze going 8 to the Falcons there. All right, Bears are up at 9. They're cool with that. They need another edge on the other side of Montez Sweat that they picked up from Washington towards the end of last season. Dallas Turner sitting there. He's most people's edge 1. I happen to like Jared Verse maybe a little bit more, but they're very close in my opinion. Let's just go with the consensus pick, and we're going to take Dallas Turner to the Bears there at 9, get them their other edge rusher. And now we've got the Jets up, and if one of these wide receivers like Odunze or one of them, may have fell, I would consider it. But since those 3 wide receivers are gone at this point, you got to fix the offensive line, and we're going to go Olu Fashanu, their tackle out of Penn State for the Jets. Minnesota Vikings up at 11. I'm going to go most likely. So they need a quarterback as well if Kirk Cousins is free agent. Still, in my opinion, too early. I think these next 3 guys are like early round 2 picks. Maybe you get one sneak in the back end of the first, which in my opinion would be Bo Nix there. But yeah, I wouldn't pass up on this talent that's sitting up here at the top of the board. I'm going to go, just because of the neck, we don't know what it's going to turn out to be. With Latu, I'm going to take Jared Verse here to the Vikings at 11. Now we got the Cardinals are up on the clock. They moved down, gathered some picks from the Broncos. And they're still in a good position to take either a top corner. They need help all over the defense. So we could go with edge rush. We could go with corner. We could even go tackle and get them like a J.C. Latham or something like that for the offensive line. Um, really, they just need a whole lot of things. So you just take BPA right here, and for me, BPA is it's probably going to be Latu. I mean, they do need edge rush bad. They need linebackers bad. Their corners are young. They didn't play too bad. I would still get them one in this draft, but I think like their secondary, like their safeties are okay. You know, obviously a Buda Baker. Um, was it Jalen Thompson or whatever his name is on the other side? He's not a bad player. Um, you have some corners that are young and can develop, and maybe we can get one in the second round or something with one of these picks we picked up from the Broncos. I'm going Latu here at pick 11, or I'm sorry, pick 12 for the Cardinals. All right, Raiders are up at 13. We could take the first corner off the board. They could use that. They could use a tackle. I'm also not opposed to getting interior defensive line. In this case, I went with Nate Wiggins the last 2 times that I did this. You've had some guys step up, like Nate Hobbs is, maybe he's a number 2 in most people's eyes, but he's okay at maybe being your 1 for just the time being. Maybe you can get a corner later. There's not a whole lot of top tier defensive interior line players. Maybe you can get Jerzon Newton here. Maybe you can even move down to gather some more picks, possibly. But I don't know. There's not anyone in particular that I think somebody would want to move up for. So we're going to go. I've been taking Nate Wiggins a lot. I've been taking corner for them a lot. Let's go Jerzon Newton here at 13 to the Raiders. Get them some more pass rush on the interior because you only got really Max Crosby rushing the passer there. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to get some more pass rush. Plus, there's plenty of corners in this draft too. This draft is very offensive line, wide receiver, and corner heavy in my opinion. So we can maybe address that later. Defensive line interiors, there's not a whole lot that I'm getting excited about besides like Newton, Byron Murphy, Sweat. There's some serviceable guys down the line, but those are like the top 3. All right, so we're gonna have the Saints now at 14. Probably gonna be tackle here because Trevor Penning is not who you thought he might be, and we could go even wide receiver maybe because Chris Olave is the only playmaker you got there. I mean, Shaheed's okay. I don't know. I take offensive tackle a lot for them. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's switch it up. We're going Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. going to the Saints there at 14, and the Colts are like, dang it. Because they could use another wide receiver opposite Michael Pittman. They could also use line. They could also use corner. So there's not anyone like I still like Troy Franklin. And, there's plenty of good wide receivers, but maybe at this point in time, because there's only been one corner come off, or we didn't have any corners yet. My apologies. So they could take whichever corner they want with this pick. Get who they believe is the best corner in the draft, and I'm very undecided. Last video I was talking about I'm between like Nate Wiggins and Terrion Arnold. Cooper DeJean is right there for me. Maybe I don't know. I'm not really sure on my rankings yet, but they're all very close. Kool-Aid just kind of seems to be the odd man out in most people's. I mean, he's still, maybe their third corner or something, but a lot of people have like Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean, Terrion Arnold a little bit above McKinstry. So we're going to go with, still going to take Nate Wiggins here as my corner one for the time being. Cooper DeJean probably would be my number one if it wasn't for his injury status. I mean, I'm sure he'll be healed and everything by the time the season would start, but, you know, the league likes to look at injuries and let guys fall a little bit when they have an injury so close to the draft. I don't know. All right. Got the Seahawks up at 16. Their main needs are guard and defensive interior line. Could use a quarterback because maybe you want to get your future, with Geno Smith maybe on his way out in the next couple years. But maybe you can wait on that and we could take Fautanu as a guard. We can take Graham Barton as a guard. Or we can get Byron Murphy or Sweat as a defensive interior line. I've put Byron Murphy here before. I'm not scared to do it again. Let's switch it up though. Let's go Graham Barton to play guard for the Seahawks there at 16. Solid player moving into guard. All right, the Jaguars 17. I'm looking at O-line still. I'm looking at corner still. Wide receiver is also another option. I kind of like to take Brian Thomas here as well a lot. But these corners, man, they're just staring me in my face here. So maybe we would go with a corner. I'm going to go with still my number 2 as of right now. I'm going to go Terrion Arnold to the Jaguars there at 17 and get them another corner to play alongside Tyson Campbell. They could use some help on the back end. All right, Bengals up at 18. And the way that these tackles have fell at this point, we're going to go tackle probably for them. Only other place I would go would maybe be Byron Murphy, defensive interior line. And then T. Higgins out the door, maybe you'd want a wide receiver, but maybe we can get that in the second round. I don't think you pass on a tackle like Fuaga or Latham or even Amarius Mims. Depends which one they like more. Mims seems to be the one with the most upside, but there's a lot of unknowns with him. Fuaga is a great run blocking tackle, right tackle. Or we go Latham, who's a little better in pass pro than the other two, at least right now. And not bad at run blocking either. I think J.C. Latham is going to be the third tackle. Yeah, third tackle coming off the board here. So, I mean, I have him rated higher than the other two right now. So we're going to go J.C. Latham there to the Bengals. Now we got the Rams up. I'm looking at probably corner or an edge. Chop Robinson's a little raw. It's going to take some work on him. Braylon Trice, a lot of people like Braylon Trice. I'm a little lower than the consensus. Braswell, more of a second round guy. Maybe you just go get one of these top corners, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Cooper DeJean going to be the pick for me here at 19, going to the Rams to play cornerback. Because they haven't had a good one since Jalen Ramsey left. So now we got the Pittsburgh Steelers up at 20, and for me, I feel like if you're going to give Kenny Pickett any bit of a chance to show that he can hack it in this league, you got to protect the man. Our offensive line, I say our because this is my hometown team, is god awful. There was some bright spots. I mean, like our guard positions are fine. We just drafted Broderick Jones. He's played right tackle most of the year, but his natural position is left tackle. Amarius Mims is a right tackle. And I like Fuaga, don't get me wrong, but I'm just basing this off of like the instant chemistry that you would get with if we take Amarius Mims here, we can move Broderick Jones to the left tackle. Mims can play the right tackle. They both went to Georgia. They both played with each other, and maybe they can gel a little bit as your bookend tackles. And that's what I'm going to do here at 20. Amarius Mims to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm hoping, we'll see how it goes, maybe we can pick up a nice center later on in the draft for the Steelers because Mason Cole is just not good. All right, Dolphins up at pick 21. They could use a guard. Typically go Graham Barton. Maybe we go Troy Fautanu here to play guard since Barton's already off the board. They wouldn't mind a tackle either. I don't know if Fuaga could be a nice pick because maybe you use him at either. They have him listed on this site as a guard. He did play right tackle in college, so not quite sure why he's listed as a guard here, but let's do it. Let's go with Fuaga to the Dolphins, and you know, if people view him as a guard, they need guard. If they view him as a tackle, he can play the tackle, and you're getting the best of both worlds there. Plug and play where you need. All right, Philadelphia Eagles up, no question about it. Kool-Aid McKinstry still sitting here. We're going with him at pick 22 because the Eagles on the back end have been getting torched lately, which is surprising because their defense was actually pretty damn good. But Bradbury, I'm never really been a fan. I love Slay, but he's getting up there in age. I know you just took like Keely Ringo. We didn't really see much of him. Yeah, you got to get some younger corner talent in there. So with the McKinstry fall here, it just makes sense to take him there at 22. Now we've got the Texans up at 23. And this is where I'm going to take my boy Byron Murphy. They need interior defensive line, and they're going to get a good one here with Murphy there at pick 23. I am pretty, Jer'Zhan Newton and Byron Murphy for me are, neck and neck as far as where I view them. And Sweat is up there. He's close, but I still have the other two just a little bit above Devondre Sweat. All right, Cowboys up at 24. They could use tackle, wide receiver. I think last time I might have taken Keon Coleman for them. I don't know. I mean, I would like to add a wide receiver. I would like to add a corner. But, if Brandon Cooks sticks around, maybe you just stick it out one more year there with him. And maybe even get you a wide receiver a little bit later. These tackles are starting to go a little quick. We still got some pretty good wide receivers on the board here. So maybe you can wait just a hair for that. Let's go get one of these tackles. Let's go Jordan Morgan out of Arizona to the Cowboys there at pick 24. Now we've got the Packers up at 25. They could also use tackle with Bakhtiari, probably not coming back. I'm not opposed to corner or safety. Yeah, the tackles are running out a little bit like we just talked about. I think there's still some pretty good corners here that you might be able to get down the road, like a Rakestraw or, even TJ Tampa in the second round. There even is some safeties that I do like later on as well. So maybe let's get the tackle now. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with Tyler Guyton here. Going to the Packers to replace Bakhtiari there. All right, Buccaneers up at pick 26. Is Mike Evans staying? I don't know. Keon Coleman would be a nice kind of replacement for him because they're similar players, if just from my perspective. Combat catch, bigger receivers. So if you're looking for the same type of player to replace him if he's gone, that would be my choice there. Or you go with edge rusher and take Chop or Braylon Trice here. Um, I don't know if Mike Evans is going to be gone. I know they do need edge rush, so we're going to go with Braylon Trice here to the Bucks at 26. Now we've got the Cardinals up at 27. We grabbed Latu with the first pick there. So wide receiver still plenty of good ones, and they pick third in the second round. So I'm thinking we wait on that, and maybe we go get corner for them, or a tackle. Like we could take. See, I still view Faltanu as a guard, so I'm going to hold off on that. Sue Matea could be a hell of a tackle. He just needs some time, and they don't really have time. They kind of need it now. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm thinking about going with Kingsley here because you've got DJ Humphries, and then you've got Paris Johnson, and maybe Humphries is someone, he's getting older. Maybe he's someone that Sue Matea can sit behind for a year or two, and then you have two young tackles there to solidify your line. So I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to just going Quinyon Mitchell here, getting their corner, and then snagging one of these receivers with the next pick. Even T'Vondre Sweat is a possibility for me. You know what? I'm just going to stick with DJ Humphries and Paris Johnson for now. They're going to stay put, and we're going to just go get Quinyon Mitchell and get them a corner. They just need defense all over the place, so we've already got them an edge rusher, now a corner. I would like to take at least one receiver in this draft, which we probably will with the third pick in the second round. So now we've got the Buffalo Bills up. They need wide receiver, interior, defensive line, safety would be a nice option because Poyer and Micah Hyde are probably, at least one of them's probably out the door. Free agency. I think I'm still going to go wide receiver. And I'm looking at, trying to think what a nice fit would be with Stephon Diggs if he stops whining and he actually stays in Buffalo. I mean, I'm a little bit lower on Keelan Coleman than I am on like Troy Franklin or something like that, or A.D. Mitchell. I even like a little more, but they don't have any like combat catch wide receivers. Most of their receivers are more on the speedier end, stretching the field. They don't have anyone that Josh Allen can really just lob it up in the red zone too, that can come down with it. So let's go Keelan Coleman to the Bills there at 28. All right. Now we got the Lions up at 29 here. Still liking corner. Probably where I'll end up going. Or we go T'Vondre Sweat on the interior. I'm not opposed to that either. I think maybe you get the corner while it's still here. They need cornerbacks. That's probably their biggest need. So let's go with Lassiter. I don't think there's anybody. Maybe Rakestraw. I kind of like Rakestraw more so. Let's go Ennis Rakestraw here to the Lions at 29. All right. We've got the Ravens up at 30. It seems that it's going to probably most likely be wide receiver for them for me. You could go corner or like defensive line, but I just think they need more firepower on that offense. I mean, we literally just watched them lose to the Chiefs. They couldn't move the freaking ball. A lot of that had to do with the fact that Lamar Jackson was getting pressured a lot, had to scramble out of the pocket a lot, but they also didn't run the ball at all, which is their go-to. So that's kind of weird. that they dropped back on. I think it was 82% of the plays were drop back passes when you've got the best running offense in the entire league. Makes no sense why their game plan turned out that way. But, you know, Odell Beckham, old. You got a nice player in Zay Flowers. Um, Other than that, I'm not thrilled with what else they have. So I'm thinking we're gonna go. Let's go Troy. Well, he is 6'3", 187. AD Mitchell a little bigger. I don't want to get somebody too similar to like Zay Flowers. Maybe even Xavier Legette here. Hmm. You know what? Let's go with Legette, man. Xavier Legette to the Ravens. Get a nice little combo of speed and size there, which is something they don't really have. I mean, some of their wide receivers, they have size, no speed. Some of them are speed, no size. So let's just get the combination of both there with Xavier Legette. Go to the Ravens at 30. All right, Chiefs are up at 31. Seems to be that they're also going to opt for the wide receiver position. Kind of like in maybe the addition of an Xavier Worthy, just because he's a speedier guy. They have MVS, who stretches the field. You've got Rice, who is like a sort of a combat catch, bigger wide receiver. I think they're lacking some speed on the offensive side of the ball at wide receiver. Troy Franklin is not slow by any means, so I might go with him there. I was considering Xavier Worthy just because he's like a small, faster player that maybe they could throw in the slot and he can work underneath for Mahomes, but I just think the better player is going to be Franklin, so let's go Troy Franklin to the Chiefs there at pick 31. 32, San Francisco 49ers, and I think they could use help on the offensive line at either tackle or guard. The fact that Fautanu has fell to this point, maybe we take him here. Wouldn't be opposed to a safety either, but maybe we can find that a little bit later. There are some good safeties down the board, in my opinion. Yeah, let's go Troy Fautanu there to the 49ers at 32. So now we're starting the second round. We've got the Carolina Panthers on the clock, and they just need offensive weapons. So we are going to go get them a AD Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. They need to add wide receivers. That's just plain and simple. I can't really explain it much more than that. Your best wide receiver is like 30, what is he, like 34-year-old Adam Thielen or whatever. Yeah, that's not gonna, everyone's talking badly about Bryce Young. I mean, what did the kid have to work with? They've got no tight end. Miles Sanders blows. They have no running game. Their best wide receiver is Jonathan Mingo, who they literally just drafted as a rookie. Well, besides Thielen, they've got no weapons. I mean, you gotta give them some. So we're gonna take AD Mitchell out of Texas there. Going to the Panthers at pick 1 of the second round. And here we are with the Patriots, pick 2 of the second round. They also need wide receiver. For me, I'm going to opt out on the small Xavier Worthy. I like Ladd McConkey a lot. But just going like prototypical X wide receiver, we're going to go Devontae Walker here for the Patriots at pick 2 in the second round. And now we've got the Cardinals up at pick 3. Like I said, I wanted to get them a wide receiver. We've kind of taken a hit on those guys a lot. I love McConkey, but I don't think he's like a number 1 for you. It might be maybe we skip out on it and maybe we wait a little later. I mean, I don't know. Just the way that the board has fallen to this point. It's tough. It is tough. Because I do, like I said, I do like McConkey a lot. Jalen Polk's not a bad option. Um, we just kind of ran through wide receivers really quick there. Do you just do you just take one right now, or do you go get someone else on the defensive side of the ball? Maybe you know what? Maybe the Cardinals go in on like T Higgins or something. Let's just say maybe they get one in free agency because I'm not really like loving like McConkey would be my next wide receiver, and I'm not really loving that as like a number one wide receiver for you. So with that being the case, I'm going to kind of just go back to my last argument. Maybe, actually, no. I was thinking about Sue Matea, like we talked about earlier, but I'm going to take Tavondre Sweat here and get them that defensive line, interior lineman. They're hurting, stopping to run badly, and that boy is big. He's going to stop it for you. All right. Washington Commanders are out. Um, yeah, usually with their second pick, I'm kind of in this range where I'm taking like a Chris Braswell or something, or maybe an offensive tackle. Um, with how the board has fallen to this point, with Chop Robinson still sitting here, they need edge rusher bad after they traded Montez Sweat, and then they got rid of they traded Chase Young as well. So we're gonna go Chop Robinson there. They need to replace those guys there at the edge position, and maybe with pick 8 we can go with a tackle. Sue Matea is still here, so is Patrick Paul. Maybe we can even go tight end if those guys get taken before then. We'll see. All right, Chargers up at the 5th pick in the second round here, and we like corner for them. We wanted to go corner with the first pick, but Brock Bowers was too good to pass up. So we're going to go with one that's fallen a little bit in Kamari Lassiter. Going to play corner for the Chargers. All right, the Titans are up at pick 6. They're another team that I'd like to go wide receiver for, and I'm not up. We're gonna go with Xavier Worthy here for the Titans because they do need a speedier wide receiver on that roster. So that just fits the bill with Xavier Worthy, even though he's on the smaller end. I'm okay with taking that because you've got Treylon Burks, who hasn't panned out as a first round wide receiver like they had thought he would. And then you've got like DeAndre Hopkins, who's like your bigger wide receiver. They need somebody smaller underneath. Maybe you have Worthy play in the slot or something. They just need to add some speed there. And we already got our tackle and solidified the line, so we're going to go with wide receiver here to give Levis not only some more protection, but now he has a weapon with Xavier Worthy. All right, Giants are up on the board, and we could go quarterback here. We were sticking with Daniel Jones at first, but maybe we think about quarterback. Maybe we think about still going with that tackle position because we didn't address the tackle position. And maybe we have Evan Neal kick in, which I might do. Thinking about it. Would it be nice to take a quarterback for them? Probably. You could even get a J.J. McCarthy that probably needs to sit behind somebody, and he can sit behind Jones. Could do that. But there's not much tackle action happening that's left here. Look, I like Zach Zinter. Other than that, though, I'm not really going crazy here. So maybe we just skip out on quarterback for now. I know that sucks for Giants fans. Danny Dimes is your man but they paid him that money, so that sucks. We're gonna get Patrick Paul, go to the Giants to play the other tackle position, and hopefully Evan Neal works better as a guard, or you trade him to somebody else, gather up some extra picks, whatever. All right, Washington Commanders back up at 8 here, and we wanted a tackle with this pick. or a tight end, which we could go Jatavion Sanders or we go Sua here. Only thing about Sua is, like I said, I think he needs just a little bit of time. And if you want to start him right away, do you just throw him into the fire? I don't know. Like, he's not a bad tackle. He just needs more polish. Or, there's not very many tight ends that are tickling your fancy in this draft, particularly. Maybe we can get like a Zach Zinter down the line. Or like a Blake Fisher, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Matt Goncalves, or however the hell you say his name. Not a bad option either later on in the draft. Tight end falls off hard. So let's get Jatavion Sanders. Screw it. We're gonna move on from what's his name? The old head. I always forget his dumbass name because he's the most relevant, unrelevant fantasy player. Logan Thomas. He's the most solid, unrelevant tight end in the league. Got to get younger at that position, anyways. And now that you've got Jayden Daniels there, you're going to give him, he's already got some pretty good wide receiver options. Throw a nice tight end in there for him as well. All right, Green Bay Packers are up at the 9th pick here. And maybe we exercise a trade. I think a team like the Raiders or the Falcons might want to jump above the Vikings to have their pick at one of these quarterbacks. It's possible. And just kind of looking, would any of them take a safety? Even if they do, all the safeties are still on the board. I think maybe we do it. Let's exercise our trade rights. We're going to have the Raiders, actually. Where are we at here? Las Vegas. We're going to have them jump up a couple picks. We're going to throw the 5th rounder in there. So the Packers are going to move back 3 spots and gain a 5th round pick. So that the Raiders can jump ahead of the Vikings and the Falcons. And they're going to select my quarterback, number 4, which is Bo Nix, out of Oregon, early in the 2nd round, since they missed out on the quarterbacks in the 1st. Now you've got the Vikings up at 10. They're also looking the quarterback route, and this is the debate. I like J.J. McCarthy better. Still think he needs to sit behind somebody. If Kirk Cousins is gone, who's he sitting behind? Nick Mullins? I don't know. So you probably have to throw him in the fire immediately. Or, even though I'm a little less high on Michael Penix, maybe they go Penix because he's already has the experience and he's quote-unquote pro-ready. I'm not a big fan of his mechanics, and then his decision-making is a little wonky at times. I still think he's more pro-ready, though, than J.J. McCarthy. So we're going to go with Penix here to the Vikings, just based upon the fact that McCarthy has nobody to sit a year behind. I think he needs just a little time behind somebody else. And with the Falcons up here at pick 11, they are going to take McCarthy because even though you're looking to upgrade upon Ritter, that option is still available for you. He can sit behind Ritter for maybe a year until you're ready to put him out there. I don't think you want to ruin his confidence by throwing him in immediately and him struggling. So maybe he sits behind Ritter for a year and then you trade Ritter away or whatever the case may be. All right, Packers back up at 12, and they would really like some kind of defensive back, right? We wouldn't mind a corner at all. There hasn't been any safeties go, so maybe we could address that later, or we address the corner position later and get the safety now. It's kind of hard to decide. because we don't want all the corners to be gone by the time they pick again. But then there's also has been no safeties off the board, so you could take your top safety, period. I think I'm gonna opt for the other route, and we're gonna go corner because I don't want there to not be one when we pick again. So for me, I love Mike Sainristil, but this is a little too early for him. But I love him for like the Steelers, playing like nickel or something, or even like safety, because we need another safety position. Maybe you throw him there. I love Mike Sainristil, but in this case, we're gonna go with my best corner on the board right now, which is T.J. Tampa out of Iowa State. All right. Saints are back on the board. We took wide receiver in the first. That's okay. We wanted an edge player or defensive line player or a tackle, but we missed. Well, Suamataia is still here. So I'm thinking either Suamataia or going with Chris Braswell for an edge position. Both have fallen off. I mean, I still like Jonah Ellis at edge. Adisa Isaac is not bad. I don't know, because like I said, Suamataia might have to sit, but they need to fix the tackle position. We're gonna go offense 2 picks in a row there for them. We're gonna get Suamataia to the Saints there at 13. Now we got the Colts back up. They would have liked to go there as well, but since they missed out on that, they also need an edge player. We already addressed corner in the first. We could also go wide receiver. Alec Pierce kind of sucks. I was pretty it's not super high on him, but like I did like Alec Pierce coming out. Hasn't really panned out to be the player you want to be. Josh Downs is your slot man with Pittman on the one side, so you could opt for a player like, I think Ladd McConkey is a little too similar to like, I think he's way better than Alec Pierce actually, but I don't know. It's just I'm not really like feeling that pick. Jalen Polk would be more of my pick for the Colts right now. But maybe we just make do with the wide receivers that are on the roster right now and go get the edge position while there's still a pretty good one sitting here in Braswell. So I mean, I still think there's still some good wide receivers. Like Ricky Purcell's pretty good, Brennan Rice. Like there is still some even Jalen McMillan I think can be a nice receiver later on in the draft. I think there's gonna be some options maybe for them later on. Let's go Chris Braswell to the Colts there and get them their edge player that they need. So now we got the Giants back up, and yeah, we already missed out on the quarterback situation. We did. So no safeties have come off. They're falling pretty hard. So maybe we go for the safety here. They already have John Michael Schmitz at center, so I wouldn't want to go with Powers Johnson. They're looking for more of a guard, but we kicked with the Patrick Paul pickup. We're kicking Evan Neal in. So let's go with safety. Let's go Cam Kinchens here for the Giants. Now we've got the Jaguars up. We would like a wide receiver. Do you like Polk, McConkey, Burton? Edge is kind of falling off. We're going to skip out on that. Could use some O-line. Not going crazy over here about that. Maybe we go with wide receiver. Let's go Jalen Polk to get them their other wide receiver across from Calvin Ridley, and then you put Christian Kirk in the slot, which he's already been. So, yeah, I don't mind that at all. Got the Bengals up here at 17. They need defensive interior line. They do. With DJ Reader getting hurt, and maybe, I think, is he a free agent? I'm not sure. He might be. But there's still some good defensive interior players left here. I do like Dorless. He's kind of a tweener. Same thing with Oroho, or however you say that. Chris Jenkins is going to be your bigger, or like Leonard Taylor. Let's go with Leonard Taylor here to the Bengals at 17. We like the name. All right, so the Eagles are up now, and stuff is just kind of falling to them at this point. You sealed up one of your corner positions, and you're okay, I think, everywhere else besides maybe picking up a safety, because I think, was Byard just like a rental player that you picked up there? And then otherwise, I think, who's their other safety, like Blankenship or something? We're gonna get Tyler Nubin here for the Eagles, and it's so funny that they just stick and pick so much, and it just works out. Every time I do a mock draft, like, shit just falls to the Eagles for no reason at all. All right, Steelers are back up. I'm not gonna make two fusses about it. Jackson Powers Johnson's gonna be the pick to play center. Need it badly. He's my top center in this draft, and he goes at 19 of the second round of the Steelers. So now they've got their other tackle, and now their center. Rams up at pick 20. Edges have kind of fallen off. I wouldn't be opposed to grabbing Jonah Ellis, though. Same thing, offensive tackles have kind of fallen a little bit. Wouldn't be opposed to Zach Zinter. I think I'm gonna go Jonah Ellis here. Get that other edge player for them, and I still value him pretty highly, but yeah, like, there's not a whole lot going on left after him and Isaac here, so grab that now before it's all gone. And the Eagles are back up again on the clock. Oh man. See, now this is where I could like fancy maybe a Ladd McConkey, and I think I'm gonna do it because you can have Devontae Smith on the outside, which he already is, AJ Brown on the outside, which he already is, and I'm totally cool with like running McConkey out of the slot. Swift route runner, and gets open a ton. Separator. I don't see any. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the pick. We're going to take Ladd McConkey there to the Eagles at 21. Browns are up with their first pick of the draft, and they could use defensive interior line, linebacker. I think we're not going to make any fusses about it. We're going to take Edgerrin Cooper here, take the first linebacker off the board. He is my top linebacker there. And simple as that. Now we've got the Dolphins back up. So we took Fuaga to play either guard or tackle for them. Could use defensive line help. I think that's where I'll probably end up going. Just what's left here. So you either want like a bigger interior lineman to stuff the run, or we got slightly smaller ones in Dorless and Rook. I kind of have Dorless above the other two a little bit more so I'm going to take Dorless here to the Dolphins at 23. 24, got the Cowboys back up. We opted out on wide receiver. We wanted to go corner. Kalen King is still here. Wide receiver wise, I'm not loving it. I just think you take the best player available. He fell to you. Kalen King is going to go to the Cowboys there at 24. 25. So we skipped out on safety, works out because Kalen Bullock is still here. And we're going to take Kalen Bullock to play safety. So now you got your corner and your safety. And that's what they needed. They needed tackle, corner, safety. They got all three. You could fancy another wide receiver, but I think Christian Watson, he was hurt, so give him the benefit of the doubt. I like Romeo Dobbs. I think he's a solid receiver. You've got surprise guys in like Dontavian Wicks who showed up last year. Like I'm not feeling like wide receiver is like a super pressing need. And then you took Jaden Reed last year, and he looks great. So we're okay there. All right. Buccaneers are up on the clock here. What do we like for them? So we already got our edge rusher. We're assuming that Mike Evans is staying. So with that being the case, could go offensive tackle, but you know, you could, or you could go with the next linebacker off the board, whichever one you choose to be your next guy. Um, I happen to really like Peyton Wilson or Junior Colson, but I think they're more of like a third round pick. Jeremiah Trotter will be fine. Um, I'm still gonna address the offensive line. I think we're gonna go Zach Zinter, my next tackle coming off the board there for the Bucks at 26. All right, Houston Texans back on the board. Here's where I'm thinking about maybe taking our first running back because Devin Singletary, he looked okay for you. Um, you know, what's his name? Damian Pierce kind of fell off the map this past season. I think it is a need for them, but maybe you could pass on it. Maybe you could go get like a linebacker here, like Jeremiah Trotter, edge player Adisa Isaac still here, probably the last one worth it in this spot. I think they're okay at wide receiver. Maybe you like to add one, but I don't think you have to pull the trigger this early because I think they do have some good wide receivers there. We love Nico Collins. We love Tank Dell. I think Noah Brown is fine. He's he had flashes last year. Um, I think I'm still gonna do it though. We're gonna go Jonathan Brooks, first running back off the board, with the 27th pick of the second round. Probably my top running back in this draft. He's kind of been, I mean, from what I hear, he's kind of sort of like a Le'Veon Bell comp, not like the talent I don't think that Bell had, but he's a patient runner. He's definitely got some pop to him. Not the fastest guy on the planet or anything, but neither is Damian Pierce or Singletary. I think you upgraded the position by getting Brooks here at 27. Could have went elsewhere, but I think that would kind of like give them another phase of the offense that would only push the Texans farther into the playoffs next year, getting an actual run game going because it was kind of stagnant here or there. All right, Buffalo Bills. Still could use safety. Not a big Javon Bullard guy. I personally, if you want to know which safeties I do like, I love Jaden Hicks. He's a player to watch. Cole Bishop is a good safety. I like him as well. James Williams, another guy on my list there. There's some left here. Maybe we can skip out on that for now. Defensive interior, I'm kind of looking there. And I'm probably going to let's go Chris Jenkins there to the Bills. Need to fill the hole in the middle of the defense. Stop getting ran on. And the Lions are up. They kind of need the same thing. I wouldn't be opposed to Adisa Isaac. Probably going to be either him or Rook here. It would be the pick for me. Maybe even Michael Hall. Yeah, it kind of has to be at this point. So which one do we like more? I'm going to go with Adisa Isaac to play edge opposite of Hutchinson. Coming off 7.5 sacks. That's pretty good for last year. Okay, so now we've got the Ravens back up here at pick 30. I think they could also go running back. I mean, but you have Keaton Mitchell. He did have some flashes. Maybe you'd stick with him. Wouldn't be opposed to corner, but let's see what we got here. I do like Chris Abrams' Drain, but he's a little on the smaller side at 5'11", 178. I like Samerstill as well. Um, they could use defensive line and interior because I think Matabuke might be gone. He's a free agent, so let's go with Rook Aurora there. Or Horhoro. Rook or Horhoro. So hard to say. We're going to take him there for the Ravens. So now we got the Chiefs up, and they took Troy Franklin in the first. So they've got their wide receiver. Wouldn't be opposed to taking a tackle. Not a whole lot left when it comes to that, though. What else can we address? We could do a safety. We could even do corner because L'Jarius Sneed is a free agent. Could do that. I think this guy needs pumped up more. Jaden Hicks, hell of a safety. We're gonna go Jaden Hicks to Kansas City there and get them another safety. San Francisco 49ers are up. They could use safety as well. Wide receiver. I mean, you don't really need wide receiver. It'd be nice to add another one to the room. But they were getting torched on the back end. I'd like to take a corner. And Kalen Carson might be the pick for me here. I like Chris Abrams Drain. I like Kyrie Jackson, Mike Samerstill. I like them all. But if we're looking for like a slightly bigger, I mean, they're all generally like Carson 6', 195. Abrams is on the smaller end, so maybe you would get him to play like nickel corner or something. Samerstill is a little smaller as well. Kyrie Jackson's fairly big. Maybe we get Kyrie Jackson 6'3", 195. What do we like more, Kalen Carson or Kyrie Jackson? Let's go with Kyrie Jackson. He's another player to watch. I think he's going to improve his draft stock as well. So, should we do third round? How far are we in here? Yeah, let's run it, dude. I didn't do 3 rounds yet. Let's run it. All right, so now we got the Panthers back up on the clock. They took wide receiver in the first. For me, I'm still going to keep addressing the offense. Going to take my second running back off the board here and Trey Benson. They need somebody back there because Miles Sanders ain't it, and Chuba Hubbard was okay, but he's not a starter really. I mean, he can be, but it's not blowing your socks off, right? Need to get that offense up to speed, man. I mean, they could use some defensive players, of course, but they need to focus on getting Bryce Young as much weapons as they can right now. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we got the Cardinals back on the clock here. We still haven't gone wide receiver at all. So I'd like to do that. Who do we like, though? Out of what's left, I mean, I feel like you have to go with, like, Jermaine Burton. He can play on the other side of Michael Wilson and be your other outside wide receiver, or like a Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson, you get the 6'7", 237-pound Johnny Wilson, and get yourself like a big target for Kyler Murray. And I mean, a lot of people are high on Johnny Wilson. I'm like, he's fine. I'm not crazy about him, but we do like the height and the size. And something different that the Cardinals don't really have. So I'm going to do it. We're going to go Johnny Wilson there for the Cardinals with the second pick in the third round. Some would say that's a fall a little bit, so we'll do it. All right, now we got the Commanders back up, still needing tackle. Uh, Still needing linebacker, safety, even could go corner. Maybe we just go best player available here. I don't know. They need that tackle bad. We're gonna go Kieran. Uh, Amagaji, or I don't know how you say it, to be honest with you, but that's our guy. Because there's no tackles really, you know. There's some options, but just this late, I mean, you got to take what you can there if you're gonna do it. Bears, fourth pick of the third round. We've already got Marvin Harrison Jr., Dallas Turner. They're sticking with their offensive line and Fields. So maybe we're looking for a defensive line interior player. Let's see what we got for that. Could also go corner because maybe Jalen Johnson's gone. Maybe he sticks around. Either way, we like the idea of either. Mason Smith on the bigger side, Michael Hall on the smaller side. We've already got a smaller edge in Dallas Turner. Might want to add some size to that defensive line. On the interior, I'm kind of feeling like that might be the pick right now. Let's go Mason Smith out of LSU to the Bears. Fill the hole in the middle of the defense. Now you got the Chargers back on the clock. They're another team that needs defensive line interior. Could use edge. Edge has been burnt out. And we could go defensive line interior with this pick. Or we even go, oh, you know what I'm doing? Got to do it. We're going to go Blake Corum. Yep, Jim Harbaugh goes and snags his Michigan running back, Blake Corum, because we don't know what the future of Eckler is looking like. Might be out the door. I know he's a free agent, I'm pretty sure, so maybe he's gone, and you replace him with your man that you had in college. Blake Corum goes to the Chargers. Loving it. Just makes sense to me. All right, Giants are up. We got our wide receiver, our tackle, and our safety. They're another team that could look at the running back position, because what's it called? Barkley is a free agent. Maybe he leaves, which I think he should. I mean, you spent your whole career on the Giants. You haven't done shit. So I'm kind of looking at the running back position here for them. There's not any edges left, which they need. We've already addressed the line. So yeah, let's look at running back. Who do we like next? So we could go with Audric Estime here. Get like a bigger like running back to pound the rock. Braylon Allen's similar that way as well. Or you go with Bucky Irving on the smaller end, a little bit faster. I don't know. Estime put up last year 1,300 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns. The other two had, Bucky Irving had 13 touchdowns on 1,100 yards. Braylon Allen only had 984 yards, just short of 1,000 with 12 rushing touchdowns. We're going to go with Estime here for the Giants in the third round. And now we got the Cardinals back up on the clock, and I don't know why it's not a position of need here. They need everything, but like linebacker is pretty bad for them. So with Jeremiah Trotter falling, we're going to take Jeremiah Trotter for the Cardinals there with the 7th pick of the third round. Jets are up again. We could look. So they already got a center, so we're not looking at Zach Frazier or Cedric Van Pran, even though they're very good. They took, Tippmann last year. So they're probably going to stick with that. We already got the tackle position filled out. Maybe we go. Let's go with Jermaine Burton. Get them another offensive weapon for Aaron Rodgers because Garrett Wilson can't do everything by himself. Get him another outside wide receiver. All right, Lions up at 9 of the third round. Still looking for that defensive line player on the interior. I'm not going after a wide receiver, even though that's a need listed here on this site. Safety is a possibility, but I think our needs are more on the interior, the defensive line, and we're going to go with Michael Hall Jr. here for the Lions. Try and speed this up a little bit. I'm not going to talk too much about every pick because we're trying to get this finished. Falcons up, looking at corner because we opted out of that. We took wide receiver, quarterback, first 2 picks. Looking at corner, what do we like at corner? So we could still go with that Kalen Carson. Chris Abrams-Draine, I do like him, but like I said, he's undersized. What else do we got? Dwight McGlothern is another guy that I'm very interested in, but might be a little bit too early for him. We're going to go Kalen Carson for the Falcons there at 10. Okay, Bears are back on the clock here. They're still looking for possibly a corner, interior offensive line, because I forget, who is their center? Because we could pick up one of these centers here. I forget. Dan Feeney. All right, yeah. We're gonna go center, and we're gonna go with Cedric Van Pran to the Bears there at the 11th pick in the 3rd round. Cardinals back up on the clock, man. What else do we need? So we could add more to the offensive line. We didn't add any offensive line yet. Fuck. We wanted a tackle. Oof. They have Cooper Beebe listed as a tackle. I don't know if he's more of a guard, but either way, you could place him either one. We're gonna go Cooper Beebe here to the Cardinals at 12. Raiders, we've already got defensive line and quarterback. I'm looking at corner as well. Josh Newton's here. I think they're looking for an outside corner, which, like I said, Mike Stammer still love him, but he's kind of like your nickel, like safety kind of guy. They even could go safety as well. I mean, Javon Bullard's still here. I'm not a huge fan, but he's going to have to go at some point. Cole Bishop, I like. James Williams is another one I like. You don't really need another wide receiver. Maybe you could use one. Shit, man, I don't know. Let's go with Josh Newton, corner out of TCU. They need another outside corner. Let's go with him. All right, Seahawks up at 14, pick 14 of the 3rd round. We went Graham Barton, still could use defensive line and on the interior there. Mekhi Wingo's not a bad option. McKinley Jackson on the bigger side. If you're looking for a hole plugger, we already addressed even though it says tackle, we took him as a guard, so we addressed the guard position. So I'm thinking we do go with one of these defensive line players. I'm gonna go with McKinley Jackson. I think. Kind of want a bigger player on the interior for them. We're gonna go McKinley Jackson to the Seahawks there at 14. Pick 15 of the 3rd round, Jacksonville. We went corner with Terrion Arnold and then Jalen Polk at wide receiver. I think they could use a center, right? Luke Fortner's there. I think you could upgrade upon that. Yeah. I mean, I like, Cam Robinson, he's fine. Anton Harrison's fine. Brandon Scherf's fine. Ezra Cleveland, Luke Fortner. I think with Zach Frazier sitting here, I wouldn't pass on that. If you're looking to at least upgrade somewhere on that offensive line, upgrade the center. Zach Frazier there to the Jaguars. Now we got the Broncos up, the Bengals up here. We took J.C. Latham. We fortified the trenches with the first two picks. If there was some more tight ends in this class, maybe I'd like to go there because they really don't have anybody. Could opt for like a Cade Stover. I don't know. Not thrilled with it. Um, Maybe we go with the wide receiver position in case. We talked about doing that in case T Higgins is out. In case he's gone. I think you're looking for another bigger wide receiver to replace him. Maybe we go with Brennan Rice. Jerry Rice is, what is that? His son. Malachi Corley, kind of shorter guy. Brennan Rice, 6'3", 210. We're gonna go Brennan Rice to the Bengals to possibly replace T Higgins. Seahawks back up at 17th pick. What are we looking for here still? Edge, safety, linebacker. I like Peyton Wilson a lot and Junior Colson. Maybe we go linebacker here for them. I feel like Junior Colson might be more of the player that they're looking for. So we're gonna go with him there at 17. Colts up at 18. So we're still missing out on some offensive line, but we're pretty short on that. Christian Haynes is a great player. I kind of forgot that he was here. And if they're looking for a guard, that's going to be the pick. Christian Haynes, the Colts at the 18th pick in the 3rd round. Now we've got the Rams back up. We went corner and edge for them. They're looking for offensive line, like a tackle as well. Do we like Blake Fisher enough? When it comes to that, I don't even mind Matt Goncalves, however you say that. 6'6", 330. We got Blake Fisher's 6'6", 310. Could go safety. I don't know. Maybe we just take a shot on one of these tackles. We'll just go with Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame there, going to the Rams. Steelers are up. Now that we got our offensive line sealed up, it's going to definitely be on the back end of the defense with some defensive back help. They need safety. They need corner. You would like to maybe have a guy opposite of Joey Porter Jr., but you were kind of like looking for a nickel corner as well because Cam Sutton, since he's been gone, you've been looking for that. You had Patrick Peterson playing there. You've had Peterson even moved to safety, which he sucks at both. He's old and washed up. I'm going to go Mike Sainristil to the Steelers there. Play either nickel corner for you or possibly safety if you want to try him out there. Browns up again. We took linebacker in the first for them. I think wide receiver is a position they could take a look at. I'm not super sold on like um, obviously Amari Cooper's fine, but like, you have what's his name in the slot there that they just got from the Jets. What's his name? Elijah Moore. Every time I go on my phone to look it up, it hits my brain. Elijah Moore. You're looking for another outside wide receiver. I mean, you did go get Cedric. Jesus, I'm struggling with the names right now. You know who I mean. Cedric. Cedric Tillman. There we go. Just went and got him last year, so maybe we skip out on that. I wouldn't even be opposed to maybe going quarterback because, like, Deshaun Watson, you wasted all that on him. I mean, I don't know if you're going to stick with that or not. I wouldn't even be opposed to, like, throwing a Spencer Rattler in there. We have any quarterback needy teams coming up? The Bucks could possibly look for one, but I think they're going to move on with Baker Mayfield. We've already addressed it for everybody else. I'm going to take a flyer, I think. Because, like, we could go Mekhi Wingo, defensive interior, Tyler Davis. So that's going to be the pick for me. It's either going to be Wingo, Davis, or we go Spencer Rattler here, and maybe he's your future. Maybe. I'm going to get gutsy. I'm going Rattler. We're going to go Rattler in the third round for the Browns at 21. All right, Houston Texans up. Still looking for linebacker, which make no fusses about it. Peyton Wilson's still here. That's a steal in the third round. We're going to take him there for the Houston Texans. Now we've got the Cowboys up. Still looking for that wide receiver. I'm liking Malachi Corley or maybe Ricky Pearsall here. Pearsall, slightly taller, a little less heavy at 190. Malachi's 5'11", 210. They both had similar yardage last year. Malachi had more touchdown receptions. Those are going to be the two to take right now. We've already addressed corner, else I'd go with one of these guys, but let's go with Malachi Corley to the Cowboys there at pick 23. Packers back up on the clock. We already took our corner and safety and our tackle. I don't know. Do they possibly go running back? Is Aaron Jones staying? Is Dillon staying? I don't know. I don't know if they're free agents or not, to be honest with you. I thought that Aaron Jones was, but he might stay. I don't know. You could go wide receiver again. Like I said, though, I think they're okay, though. I really do. I think they're okay there. Let me see something. All right, so if we're looking corner here, we've got Jair Alexander. We got him another corner to replace Carrington Valentine on the other side. We also got a safety to replace Owens. Who we look at? Where's their nickel corner at? Who plays nickel for them? It doesn't really list it here. They got the sub package linebacker there, but no, they don't have the nickel corner spot. Either way, I don't really care. Chris Abrams fell at this point, and I would kind of like him to play nickel for you. So we're gonna take another corner there for the Packers. Just keep getting better on the back ends. That's where their needs are right now for me. Buccaneers up here. So we've addressed the edge and the tackle. I don't know. It gets hard to pick down here in this range. I'm gonna go with Cedric Gray though, linebacker out of North Carolina. Just because like a lot of these players shouldn't be falling, but at the same time, like I'm trying to go off a need, but like at some point you got to take BPA. So now we've got the Cardinals back up. I wouldn't be opposed to running back because like James Conner eventually, he's getting up there in age. Still playing great football though, but maybe we go get a backup for him. Like I said, their safeties I think are fine. We already got linebacker. We already got defensive interior. We already got corner. We already got edge. So I think maybe we just take a running back here to back up Conner and then possibly take the job whenever he's wrapping up. I'm gonna go with Bucky Irving because Conner's kind of your bruising running back. So maybe we get a little speed playmaking out of Bucky Irving there, the 26th pick for the Cardinals. And now we've got the Green Bay Packers back up on the clock. I didn't know what the hell to do with them, and now here they are again. So really they need edge, and we could take a running back, or we go wide receiver. And the fact that he's fell this far, maybe we'll just take a swing at wide receiver again, or go Ricky Pearsall there to the Packers, and then they can figure out what the hell wide receivers they want to start because they have a plethora now. Lions back up. Javon Bullard's fell to this point, but like I still favor other guys over him. Or wait, no, I took my guys except for I like Cole Bishop and James Williams. I do. Maybe Bullard falls a little bit more. .5'11", 195. He had 56 tackles, 2 picks, 5 pass defenses. Cole Bishop, on the other hand, bigger, 6'2", 207, 60 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, 3 pass defense, 1 forced fumble. Or you got James Williams at 6'5", 215. Could even play linebacker for you if you wanted, which is a position of need for them. 73 tackles, 1 pick, 4 pass defenses, 2 forced fumble. What do we got at linebacker? Tommy Eichenberg. I mean, you took Jack Campbell. Really, getting a linebacker would be kind of a backup position for you. There's not a whole lot this team needs, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with James Williams, man, because you could use him at safety, and then worst comes to worst, he can play linebacker as well. Maybe you just go with the versatility of it. It's fine with me. All right. The Ravens are up. I'm not real big on DJ James. He's also very small. Like, not from a height standpoint, just a weight. He's only weighs 164 pounds. I'm not thrilled with that. What else can we go? I do like Max Melton, though. Let's see what we got corner-wise. We do need to add a corner. Max Melton would... Yeah, either Max Melton or Dwight McGlothern would be my next corner. I do like Melton, though. We're going to take Melton to the Ravens there at 29. Getting close to the end now, finally. Chiefs up at pick 30. Still looking for defensive interior line. Mekhi Wingo's still here. We're going to take him there to the Chiefs in case Chris Jones is gone. Washington Commanders back up. Looking for linebacker, safety, corner. Anything on the defensive side of the ball since we've pretty much gone offense except for Chop Robinson. Going Cole Bishop to the Commanders there at 31. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars back up. Not loving the edge position right now. We could go Tyler Davis out of Clemson for interior defensive line. Safety still an option. I've taken my two favorite safeties now, though. I do like Tyke Smith still. Bo Brad I like as well. Or Braid, however you say that. Baki, I like him too. I don't know. Are we thinking Javon Bullard's a fall at this point? Not crazy about the guy, but maybe we take a swing. I mean, they've got him ranked 65th, and we're well past that rank. We'll do it for the Jags. We'll get Javon Bullard there to the Jags at 32nd pick of the 3rd round. Now we got the Eagles back up. We've already addressed the back end. Who do they have behind Jalen Hurts at this point? Because we're just adding depth at this point for the Eagles. I forget who their backup is. Marcus Mariota. And then they did take Tanner McKee. I forgot about that. So maybe they're fine there. I was thinking about maybe taking Pratt. What do we want to do? Maybe we just add some more offensive line depth. Could do that. Maybe Tommy Eichenberg. We're going to take Matt Goncalves here. Goncalves. I don't know how you say it, buddy. But we're going to take him to possibly maybe develop him into a right tackle replacement whenever Johnson retires. 49ers still looking for a safety, which works out because there's still some here. We're going to go with, I don't know, kind of like Bo here, a little more so than Smith. We're going to go Bo Braid. Bills also still looking for safety. That's fine. We can do that as well. We'll go with Smith there. All right. 49ers are back up. We could take a flyer on a wide receiver or something. Just add some more wide receiver depth. We could add defensive line in a defensive interior line as well. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go with Tyler Davis to the 49ers. And that is going to wrap it up. This was a long stream, an hour and 40 minutes, but we did 3 rounds. So that's not bad. I'd keep going, but I think that's going to wrap it up for us for now. So let's just do a quick recap for you guys at the end here and show you the picks. So Arizona went Laiatu Latu, Kenyon Mitchell, Devondre Sweat, Johnny Wilson, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Cooper Beebe, and Bucky Irving in the first 3 rounds. Atlanta went Rome Odunze, J.J. McCarthy, and Kalen Carson. Baltimore went Xavier Legette, Rook Orhorho, or Horo, and Max Melton. Buffalo went with Keon Coleman, Chris Jenkins, Tyke Smith. Carolina went with A.D. Mitchell and Trey Benson. Chicago went with Marvin Harrison Jr., Dallas Turner, Mason Smith, and Cedric Van Pran. Cincinnati, J.C. Latham, Leonard Taylor, Brennan Rice. Cleveland went with Edgerrin Cooper and Spencer Rattler. Dallas went Jordan Morgan, Kalen King, and Malachi Corley. Denver traded their picks away to move up to get Drake May, so that's their only selection in the first 3 rounds. Detroit went Ennis Rakestraw, Adisa Isaac, Michael Hall, and James Williams. The Packers went Tyler Guyton, TJ Tampa, Kalen Bullock, Chris Abrams-Drain, and Ricky Purcell. The Texans went Byron Murphy, Jonathan Brooks, Peyton Wilson. Indianapolis went Nate Wiggins, Chris Braswell, and then Christian Haynes. Jacksonville went Terrion Arnold, Jalen Polk, Zach Frazier, and Javon Bullard. KC went with Troy Franklin, Jaden Hicks, and Mekhi Wingo. Chargers went with Brock Bowers, Kamari Lassiter, and Blake Corum. The Rams went Cooper DeJean, Jonah Ellis, Blake Fisher. The Vegas Raiders went with Johnny Newton, Bo Nix, and then Josh Newton. Miami went with Talise Fuaga and Brandon Dorlus. Minnesota went Jared Verse, Michael Penix. New England went with Caleb Williams, Devontae Walker. New Orleans went Brian Thomas Jr. and then Kingsley Suamataia. Giants went Malik Neighbors, Patrick Paul, Cam Kinchins, and then Audric Estime. The Jets went Olu Fashanu and then Jermaine Burton. Philadelphia went with Kool-Aid McKinstry, Tyler Nubin, Lab McConkey, and Matt Calvis. The Steelers went Amarius Mims, Jackson Powers Johnson, Mike Sanderstill. Seattle went Graham Barton, McKinley Jackson, Jr. Colson. San Francisco went Troy Faltanu, Kyrie Jackson, Bo Braid, and Tyler Davis. Tampa Bay went Braylon Trice, Zach Zinter, and Cedric Gray. And Tennessee went with Joe Alton, Xavier Worthy. And lastly, Washington went Jaden Daniels, Chop Robinson, Jatavion Sanders, Kieran Amagaji, and Cole Bishop. Rounds it out. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you watched, I appreciate it very much so. And just going to keep pumping these out as the draft process continues. Now we basically more or less know where all these teams are going to select what position, except for the last 2. Obviously, the Super Bowl will determine that. But now we can actually start hitting it hard because we're going to know the draft position. I made some trades in this. Didn't go bonkers with it, but we made definitely some trades. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you liked who I selected for your teams. If you don't, that's cool too. I like the constructive criticism. Let me know if you think I did well or not so well. And like I said, I appreciate you for tuning in, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Thank you. Praise God. Jesus Christ. Amen. I'm out of here.